other sons and daughters. Thus all the days of Enoch were 365 years. Enoch walked with God. Then he was no more because God took him.
The book of Enoch is named...
Only person to ever fucking leave, God took him, nigga. Not Jesus.
Book of Genesis. We only know one sentence worth of information about him. And yet...
The only person that ever went that God came and took was Enoch, nigga, not Jesus.
Enoch. If he was taken up into heaven, what might he have seen?
It is a daunting manuscript. 5 volumes containing 108 chapters. For many ancient Christians, the Book of Enoch was essential. Yet it was banned from the Christian Bible.
We don't know why this literature was ultimately...
They took Enoch out of the Christian Bible.
Perhaps it's because of its description of the fall of the rebel angels and their mating with mortals. Perhaps its understanding of the end of time fell out of favor with Jews and Christians.
The Book of Enoch begins with a warning to all humanity that a divine judgment has been rendered and a sentence will be imposed. God tells Enoch that all life on earth will be destroyed in a violent flood. And, as with the story in Genesis, God blames this evil on the sons of God, angels who lusted after the daughters of men.
These angels are sometimes referred to as watchers. They keep constant watch. And they decide one day, about 200 of them, that they're going to descend to the earth. They would like to very much make contact with these mortal women.
And they began to go into them and to defile themselves with them, and they taught them charms and enchantments. And they became pregnant, and they bare great giants whose height was 3,000 ells. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind.
That these angels have crossed over this boundary that they shouldn't have. They were spiritual beings and they were to remain as such. When they decided to descend upon earth, this unleashed upon the earth all sorts of problems. Not only these giants who are bloodthirsty and violent, but also these angels went on to teach humankind a variety of forbidden crafts. They also taught human beings how to make weapons of war.
Yes.
Now, the good angels, the ones not tempted by these beautiful women, go to God and say, you know, there's a lot of bloodshed caused by these bad angels. At which point God says we need to bind Azazel, the sort of lead fallen angel,
Azazel,
to bind him and to then cast him into a pit.
Azazel.
After the rebel angels are cast into the depths of the earth, Enoch has a dream vision. The lead angel, Azazel,
Azazel,
begs Enoch to plead their case before God, to petition the Almighty to release them from the depths of the earth. The
Azazel.
request for clemency is denied.
This version of the fall of the
How do I know
angels
about
was
Azazel?
very popular in its
Because I was
day
Pastor Uno,
and
motherfucker.
maintained popularity for centuries to come. When we look at Dante's
I know about
book on
this
the
shit, bro.
Inferno,
So
it's
when I get to
largely
jumping on that
not
punk ass
the
Bible,
material
nigga, it's
in
because I was finna
Enoch.
be a pastor, my
When
nigga.
we look at
I knew about the
various
book of
myths
Enoch,
the New
nigga. My
Testament,
grandma had me doing this shit, bro. That's one of the books I used to read, nigga. Running the Reading Rainbow
in
books, my nigga.
Corinthians, when
Trying to tell you, I still got that
Paul
motherfucker
talks
at my mama house, my nigga. It's
when
part of my
having
encyclopedias, nigga.
so the
Niggas ain't gonna run no game on Slim, cuz.
seduced and tempted. It goes back to the fallen angels tradition.
Another episode tells of Uriel, a powerful angel in charge of the stars, who becomes Enoch's guide through the heavenly realms.
Uriel's name, in fact, means God is my light. And whenever he is described, frequently in relation to God, he's situated to the east of God's throne. This is very interesting.
Where the
Of course,
sun comes up.
rises to the east. So this gets us thinking, Uriel, a figure associated with light, perhaps associated in some way with the sun, or the stars, or the idea of these heavenly bodies making their rotations daily.
And all these Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me, and their positions, and I wrote down their positions as he showed them to me.
And so something is going on here with the stars. It may well be going back to the role of astrology and the study of stars in the Persian Empire that is now giving rise to this new awareness that constellations aren't just constellations of stars, they're constellations of power. And through this tour of heaven, Enoch gets the information, and he knows where the powers are, and to know where the powers are means that you have access to the power.
We know that some early Christians considered the writings of Enoch to be authoritative, to contain actual revelation from God. So, because some people thought that, some influential people thought that, the book was used as you would use other books of the Bible.
After all, Revelation appears in the New Testament. But Enoch, for reasons that I think are fairly clear, was just considered a little too strange, a little too suspicious, a little too creative, perhaps, for the tradition. Having said that, there's no doubt that it was widely read and very popular.
Nigga got spaceships and everything in the Book of Enoch, my nigga.
The official Christian canon. This imaginative tale fell into obscurity until the late 18th century, when a Scottish explorer named James Bruce came upon this mysterious text in Aksum, a city in the Ethiopian highlands. Travelers to Ethiopia found manuscripts.
That's a George Washington's monument. Or, wait a minute. Let me tell you what it really is. It's really called an Egyptian obelisk. But, you know, I don't know nothing. I'm just slim. I'm just stupid. It's an Egyptian obelisk. They got it in Washington, D.C. as a Washington monument. Trying to tell y'all niggas that tried to turn the United States into the motherfucking Egypt, bro. And they've been steadily doing this shit. And they've been steadily using everything that Egypt did to control the fucking people or the race of Egyptians that they learned the shit from. Smart ass niggas.
We now know that Enoch was sacred to Ethiopian Christians all along.
All along.
Part of the reason why this probably became part of their canon is because of the mythic story of the foundation of the Ethiopian monarchy. You have Sheba, who goes to see King Solomon, and the story goes that not only does she bring gifts, she brings a little bit of something back home. She's pregnant with Solomon's son. That son is Menelik. Menelik is the first dynastic king of Ethiopia. He actually goes back and retrieves the Ark of the Covenant from Solomon because Solomon is not taking care of the kingdom properly. And the Ark rests reportedly in Aksum in Ethiopia. So when Christianity comes later in about the 4th century to Ethiopia, there's already a story there. There's already a connection to the Old Testament story. So the Book of Enoch and all these other types of books that are included within the Ethiopian canon become part and parcel of putting together this Old Testament story, this Old Testament link, with a very new Christianity that enters into the Ethiopian. They don't give up the old. They put it all together with the new and blend it together.
Blended it all together.
Portions of the Book of Enoch also were found among the Essene literature, hidden in the caves of Qumran, as part of the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Enochic literature was very popular with the inhabitants at Qumran, at least for a while, probably at the beginning of this group's existence.
Until they kept fucking each other and they got crazy in the head.
So popular. At least 11 manuscripts of this text have been discovered. And that's quite a number, especially when we think in terms of what it costs to produce a manuscript in antiquity, in terms of not only the material required, but also the labor.
And so sometimes what people are reading and what the leadership in the church actually wants you to understand are two very different things.
Huh? What you're reading and what they want you to hear is two different things. I'm done, bro. That's it.